Final episode of last night. Let's welcome back to the program Jason Knight. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Taking my little weekly break from work.
So because it's work, I'm sure you want to continue this so you can always get that 5 or 8 minute break, right?
I'm telling you, it'd be nice.
Let's talk about last night's episode. Anything happen that you didn't see or you were not aware of?
They showed the crawfish bowl and the little pickleball tournament we had. So I wasn't really expecting them to put that on there at this point in the season. I thought that that was all out of the window, and then all of a sudden they threw a curveball at me.
Well, it keeps everybody interested. So when was the crab boil? Well, I mean, was it after all of you guys fought?
No, that was. I want to say it was after the quarterfinal fights. It was right before the semifinals, like the weekend before.
I gotcha. Anything that you found humorous? Because I got to be honest with you, as I'm watching the fight and I'm thinking this is a 10-8, possibly a 10-7 round, I hear Connor continues, to yell, beautiful movement and how good he looked.
Yeah, man, I just don't understand Connor when it comes to that. Cody's clearly winning the fight, and I guess, that's just Connor's way of saying that, I guess kind of like helping pick Rico up. But, we all knew ahead of time that Cody was going to get the win, no matter, whether it was a finish or decision or whatever. And I think Connor knew that as well. He just wanted to, kind of root Rico on, I guess you could say.
Other thing that I noticed last night, we're talking to Jason Knight as we do each and every week, talking about last night's Ultimate Fighter episode and of course, the entire season. I have so mixed emotions on the question I want to ask you. So obviously, Cody was banged up. And if you noticed, you didn't have to be a rocket scientist to see it. The first 2-3 things, that the opponent did, that Rico did, was go to kick the knee. Give me your thoughts on that. I mean, I know about your last fight and the agreement. We're going to fight. We're going to, so I'm torn. Should I be torn?
The way I look at it, that's a dirty move. And what's even worse is the only person on that team that would have known that would be Brad. And Brad and Cody had bad vibes between each other. They kind of didn't really care much for each other. So I would definitely think that Brad would go over there and share that information. So, if anything, I'm more pissed at Brad for that than anybody. Rico, of course, you got an opponent who's naturally probably a better fighter than you, more skilled, more advanced in his career. You want to target the areas of weakness. You try to give yourself whatever advantage that you can squeeze by with. And I believe that was, kind of Rico's mindset was, I'm not going to win this fight unless, somehow I hurt him. And I think that was kind of what Rico was going towards. But at the same time, it's dirty that Brad would have went over there and shared that information, because no one from their team knew anything about that knee injury until Brad switched sides.
Well, let me say this, and I'm thinking, how to say this. And if anybody knows, it would be you, that I have gone to people and said, what's on my mind, which it eventually is going to catch up to me. I get that. I've defended Brad Katona. I just defended him 5 minutes before you came on. I supported him going to the other side and all that. But if he did do that, I mean, that changes everything. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, that's dirty. And it obviously, and we saw in the episode last night, they don't like each other. They're looking forward to fighting each other. If he did that, then yeah, I'm going to reach out to him. And if I was going to Boston this weekend, which I'm not, I would ask him, and I'm going to text him to ask, because if he did do that, I agree with you. That's crap, and I'm changing my opinion. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, I honestly don't believe that he would tell you, even if he did. I just don't see that in Brad's character. I don't see him being that big of a stand-up guy to admit whenever he was wrong. That might just be, a sour taste in my mouth because, the way I look at it, I believe that's the only way possible that Rico could have known something about that knee because we never trained with those guys. Cody never walked around with a knee brace or anything around those guys. He always, made sure that he never showed that at all for that specific reason that he might be fighting one of their teammates. None of them needed to know that he had an injury. And, at the same time, it might just be the fact that Rico was trying to land a kick and that just happened to be the leg that he was kicking. But, I believe wholeheartedly that Brad went over there and was like, hey, man, go for this leg. This is the leg that's hurt. He has a torn MCL or whatever. And, the way I look at it, I think Brad was looking for an easier fight in the finale. An easier shot at becoming a double ultimate fighter, Right. And if Rico gets there, that's an easier fight than Cody all day, every day. So that's, in my opinion, that's what Brad was looking at. Get Cody out of the way now so that way I don't have to fight him later.
So Jason, obviously those are, X's and O's about the show and what's going on. My question is going back more to a photo I see on your Instagram from the 31st, where you took a picture with Jelly Roll, the singer, the musician. And before you came on the show, we just talked to Gerald Mershot, who was photoed with Theo Vaughn, the comedian. So how cool is it that the popularity of the Ultimate Fighter and the fight game, it used to be fighters would take a picture with a celebrity, but now it looks like it's the other way around. Yeah, like the celebrities are coming to the combat sport world. And what's that like for you to be recognized and known for what you do?
Man, it was awesome. The way that worked out, Michael Chandler did an episode of his show that he's been doing. It's a tough reaction show with Michael Chandler. And he had Jelly Roll on the show, and Jelly Roll, talked really, really good about me, talked about how he's a big fan and he loves Jason Knight and all this stuff. So I just reached out to him on Instagram and I was like, hey, man, I really appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that means. And he reached out and said, look, we got to stick together. Anytime I have a show close to you, let me know. And, I told him, man, you got a show coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to see about getting tickets, and hopefully we can hang out after. He said, don't worry about it. I got you however many tickets you need. And he made it where me and my family parked in the tour bus area, got us, backstage passes, and he was an awesome guy to meet. He took pictures with all my kids, signed, whatever he wanted to for all of my kids because my kids are such huge Jelly Roll fans that it's unreal. And that was an experience that I will never forget. So I know for a fact that's an experience that my kids will never forget, and I can't thank that guy enough for that.
Very cool.
It's awesome.
And to see how far it's come, from what I saw at UFC 1 and nobody even knew, nobody even cared. Chuck Liddell walked in there like, other than the haircut, I wouldn't have known, to now being recognized, for all your hard work and all of the fighters' hard work is really something very, very cool.
Yeah, man, I love where the sport has gone over the years. When I first started watching the UFC, it was so much smaller. You could see, like, the arenas were smaller, the crowds were smaller. And now, you're fighting in front of thousands of people live, and then there's millions of people around the world watching. So, I'm a small-town kid from Mississippi that never thought I would go anywhere. I thought that I started fighting just to have fun and not get in trouble for it. And now I've got people all around the world that reach out to me through Instagram, just about on a daily basis, and tells me that they're huge fans and stuff like that, and how proud they are of my career, and they can't wait to watch my next fight. And I'm talking Russia, Australia, just all over the world. And it's just mind-blowing that a kid from South Mississippi is known on the other side of the globe, and I absolutely love it.
What I like even more, Jason, is the fact that, we watch TV shows, we watch wrestlers, we watch boxers, we watch MMA, blah, 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 blah. I like that people are getting to know the fighters. And I truly believe that people all over the country and all over the world are getting to like Jason Knight because of what they saw during this season.
Absolutely.
Not how you fought, because you're an absolute animal, and we already know that, in the octagon. It's the type of person that you are, and I'm not trying to blow smoke or anything like that. It's just you've shown what kind of human being you are, how you stuck up for the other team, how you stuck together as a team, and I think that says as much, if not more, about the sport that we love, that was once known as cockfighting, to we're human beings and we're good people.
Yeah, man, I absolutely love just mixed martial arts in general, what it does for people. I went from a problem child, just a kid with a bad attitude that would fight you just because you looked at me the wrong way. So, now I have the most cool, calm, collected temper that you'll ever see. And you can do anything besides put your hands on me or my family. And outside of that octagon, I will not, do anything to you. You get away with it. And you see that every day. You see kids that, they won't even talk in class. They have no friends. And then all of a sudden, you get them into mixed martial arts. You get them in a jiu-jitsu class, a kickboxing class, whatever it may be. They come out of their shell and they're excelling in life because I don't know what it is about mixed martial arts. It gives you a different perspective on life. No matter what discipline you're in, it helps you throughout this life. It teaches you respect, courage, all that good stuff. And you don't even know that you're learning it until it's too late. You already have it instilled in you by, your coaches or your teammates or whatever. It's an awesome way to live.
Before Matt asks his next question, I just want to thank you for changing your demeanor, because our first conversation, if it was the old Jason Knight, I may not be here.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I was just going to piggyback on what Randy was saying, and the show gets to know who you are. That's what the Western cultures do, right? Like the Chinese cultures, like they build up the fighters and the story and the history and the respect for the martial art. Where here in the Western civilization, it's all about trash talking and the Conor McGregor antics. So I think the Ultimate Fighter is an amazing series, and it's great for the sport.
Before we run out of time, Jason, two final things. One, how was the crawfish boil?
It was great, man. The thing about a crawfish boil, it's like a chance for everybody to come together and really bond. It's a big bonding experience. I myself don't eat crawfish, but I love to eat the sausage and the corn out of the crawfish. It was a great experience. A lot of the producers, I don't know, why they didn't show any of the producers or whatever, but a lot of the producers got to come out there and enjoy some crawfish with us and stuff. So it wasn't all just the fighters there. I guess you could say socializing. But it was a little bit of everybody. It was a big social experiment, and it went great.
Probably the most important question I could ask you through the whole 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it was. And you mentioned about the fight and you hoped, and I'm curious, has anything been said? Has anything been offered about a contract? Did you earn a contract even though you're not in the finale?
Nothing has happened as of yet. And I'm pretty sure that's just because the finale's not over. But I know for 100% fact, with every fiber of my being, I will be getting a call soon. I don't know how soon, but it's a guarantee that I'm going to be getting a call.
That's the best news of it all. Jason, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for doing this the whole season. I have a little gift being sent out to you for giving us some time, and let's talk again soon. I don't know, like next Wednesday.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Anytime you get ready, give me a phone call. Do I have enough time to say one little story?
Yep. Well, I can hold you through to the next, or you got about a minute.
All right. So anybody who doesn't know mine and Randy's first reaction, our first interaction, I was fighting for BKFC. I had my flag on my shoulders, and it's an American flag, and I got too close to I got too close to the ropes, and I kind of like threw my flag off. Well, Randy thought that was an insult, thought that I was insulting America by throwing my flag down. And, I explained, hey, man, I love that flag. I didn't mean nothing by it. So, therefore, I gained his respect that day, I guess. But anyways, that's the story that you keep hearing about our first interaction.
Well, I think it was the way you handled it after the fact is what made him. The same reason that the fans love you so much around the world is because of how you handled it in your character.
And you held back from smashing my face in. So those two things meant a whole lot.
But don't touch his jelly roll. He will be throwing fists if you touch his food.
Jason, we're at the top of the hour. Thank you for everything, man. I'll call you this weekend.
All right, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Jason Knight, our correspondent all season long.
Love that guy.
I truly do. I love that guy. All right, let's hit our top of the hour break. This is Knockout Radio, brought to you by Staff Zone, 8-Man Strong, and Bucked Up Energy Drink.